That's just for your benefit to give you some, what I shared with you previous to the starting the recording has to do with how politics and religions and things are beginning to merge toward a truthful direction. This is very, very subtle, but it is taking place on the planet for the first time. And what is changing it is not being changed by the free so-called will of people on earth. It is being done despite their negative fear. This is a good thing. We need it. It's required. We're not alone in the universe. We never have been. The guided English to Thai, whatever these journeys are, except for secondary and primary implant stuff, these journeys go a lot further and a lot deeper into recovering, assisting you to recover your higher faculties. Because as we go on these journeys, your fears, whatever they may be, are kept turned off for the journey. Not by me, not by Pari. Galactic Alliance personnel, they're very advanced. Consider them like, to them, they're just normal. But to you, if you met them in person, they would be like superior, very advanced master beings, master teachers, because their energy is so much higher than ours. They don't have subconscious minds. They don't have fear of the present and future. They weren't born on Earth, so they're the best people to help us who aren't being reactive to all the negative stuff that we are on this planet. We require that, not only to survive, but to recover who we once were. All of what we once were. Because from that point, we go further. Until we do that, we cannot go further. Planet Earth can't evolve at all. It wouldn't be the first time this planet's gone up in smoke. Going back 65 million years since the dinosaurs were made extinct here, deliberately made extinct. And they didn't originate on Earth either. There's a history missing from all of you, from everybody on Earth, their own history, not just Earth and solar system history, but Galactic Alliance history, their own history. None of you started out as a person on Earth with no memory. You've all lived much grander and more great lives, longer lives, in better human bodies than you have now on Earth. The bodies on Earth have certain genomes that have been deliberately manipulated and shut down, passed on genetically, generation after generation, like aging. All this is a telomere. People on Earth know this. It's a two-pronged little thing that's at the end of each twin-stranded DNA. When cells divide in human beings on Earth, the telomeres shrink. That is aging. In normal beings on other worlds, when their cells divide, their telomeres do not shrink. It's a switch. It's nothing more than knowing the right frequency to turn that switch on. And you have to be an advanced biologist, a technician, very, very aware as a being, in order to apply such technology to people on Earth. And the first thing that has to go before it can be a benefit for people on Earth is fear. Fear's got to go. It's in the way. These people don't apply their technologies, their health, their medicine, or cures for disease, or any of that to people in fear, because the gift would be wasted. Whatever they're doing to have gotten, say, something like cancer, once it's gone, if they're lucky enough to do that, it just returns. Because people are very afraid to change. Every one of us here knows that. We've been through it ourselves. Me, you, Pari, Quan, V, and I know there's a nickname for you. It's not the one I see on your screen. Pari would know what it is. What is that, Pari?
Mm,
Pung. Pung? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Good. Great.
Mm.
Thank you. I thought I remembered it. It'd be nice if even you guys understood that Asian languages are not native to this planet. English isn't either. Latin based. Latin isn't even native to this planet. It's Galactic Alliance based. And it gets based on ancient Lemurian in a culture that people don't even know existed on this planet. Gone. When we start this journey, if we do, of guided journeys for each of 38 chapters for the Emerald Doorway, that's a very different type of journeys than the Seres agenda. And I have to consider very carefully whether we do it at all at this time. Because sooner or later, you're all going to recover much of what we're going into anyway. But you few people get the opportunity to leap into the unknown and wake it up before the rest of humanity on earth. It's a privilege, really, an honor, an opportunity, because then you become boots on the ground. You start to channel the hue expansion ray in your everyday life, even when you're not conscious of it, and it begins to change the earth planet. This is incredibly important. It requires a certain percentage, a small one, of Earth's population be involved in transforming this world. Not just a bunch of unconscious lunatics running around all over Earth, 8 billion of them that don't know what to do. That won't do it. Because the truth is, as Atmas, we're supposed to be trustworthy custodians and caretakers of this planet and others. We're supposed to be allowing the hue to come through and charge the oceans with the hue so it glows. See, that's a normal planet. We're going to be visiting one on this journey. Maybe several. In the physical universe of the Milky Way galaxy, in this parallel dimension. And then we're going to go above the lower worlds where so many troubles are. The astral, causal, mental, and etheric, they're not the heavens people think they are. There's positive and negative and good and bad in all of them. The most refined one is the etheric plane just below the void, where bodies are transparent. They're not made of matter like here. They don't eat food or go to the bathroom or anything like that in the etheric plane. The mental, yeah, in some places, causal, astral, yeah. So these heavens people think they're going to that are permanent are not, because they aren't the true source. The true source is above the void. And if nobody on earth is taught what that's about or how to see it or how to remember it, how are they ever going to get there? Especially when they know they have the ability. All of you know you have the ability. I don't have to teach you that. It's just not accessible, or it's been dormant or shut down through some trauma or some experience you've had in your infinite past. And when I say that, I mean hundreds of billions of years of lives. Not just on Earth, not just in the Galactic Alliance, but in other galaxies and other dimensions. So when I say to you all, how old are you? The question isn't about how old you are on Earth. That's practically meaningless. It's how old are you as an Atma? Because as an Atma, you have no beginning in age. Time and space do not begin until it drops into the void, from the void into the etheric, rather. There's no time and space in the void or up above there. And our nature is spherical, so our nature is timeless. Our nature is not limited to physical bodies that can age. They're not limited to DNA or molecules or atoms. What we are isn't comprised of any of that. What we are is part of the energy that supports all that, good and bad, or both, depending on how people choose to use their imagination. Unfortunately, people on Earth have been brought up from birth to use their imagination in fear of the present and future. It makes money. Peddling fear makes money. Governments and religions base their structures and their status quo on money. And this is all wrong. We have to deal with it, we all do, until it's no longer needed or necessary. There will come a time when no one on earth will even want it. Won't that be a day to be part of? Even as a free being playing and working in the Hue Expansion Ray plane and the Hue Expansion Ray Academy and in Satnam's realm and in the void and all the planes, I would still be here, one way or another, to witness this transformation. I've been working towards this with many others for billions of years. And now we have the choice, the chance, the opportunity to not just fix Earth, but the lower worlds of time and space themselves, which are quite broken in a sense. They work fine, but they don't change or evolve. And so the beings in them don't get to change or evolve either. Once you step in them, you kind of get stuck. So we're beginning to reverse that stuck consciousness. It's not something you have to learn how to do by being perfect, purifying your soul, or any of that nonsense. You're already that way. You already are. Because the spherical being you are, which looks like what's on the front cover of the Emerald Doorway book, is what you really are. And there's no negative nature in it. You've never been negative. All that is in the energy field, electromagnetic field that surrounds the outside of what you are, through which we see the universe distorted, subconsciously distorted through fear. And now that this is awoken up in you, you all know it. This awakening this way is not reversible. You can't go backwards to the way you were. You're stuck with going home to an eternity and waking up and becoming a transformed being. And actually, we're going to go one place is to the Hue Expansion Ray Academy to rub shoulders with silent mentors. Why do we do this? Well, I can only tell you what I know so far. Rubbing shoulders with master teachers is one thing. Rubbing shoulders with silent mentors is an altogether other thing. They run the mechanics of all those stars and galaxies and keep them all working, and all the doorways, interdimensional portals made of energies. They understand how to use them. They connect the whole universe together. Where there's positive and negative streams that people are putting out from their mind and thought and imaginations into the void where no negative nature exists, and we can't bring any with us. It's impossible. So when we go on these journeys, your fears are being turned off by Galactic Alliance personnel. They're just like us, just not trapped. And they know how to do this kind of thing. They have to leave their bodies aboard the Emerald Star Cruiser stationed in the ice rings of the planet Saturn in our solar system. There isn't anything any Space Force or classified military can do with them in any way, shape, or form. They're way too advanced for that. And they're not here to fight back when their ships are shot at, when they've come here to prevent nuclear war. Because they did prevent nuclear war, and the ships were shot at by our own militaries. They didn't retaliate. Think about this. They never have. So who are the bad guys here? Them or us? Fear makes people do stupid things. I know from my own great experience with it. Fear is not natural. It's not normal. It's not your native emotion. It isn't even a kindred spirit to you. Fear is not part of your normal human Atma characteristic. It's an artificially created, implanted emotional state designed to be connected to whatever you're going through in the astral plane. And this trap goes deeper than implants. It flows through the lower dimensions of time and space, and we all got caught in it. We got caught in it because all of us together created it as individual Atmas in one huge central nexus we call Prime Creator. Well, beings from out among the stars call it that. They know better than to call it a supreme being because that's like a tyrant king ruling with absolute authority over everyone. That isn't how it works, because we are it. We are part of it. We always have been. So that's the thing that's been forgotten. And before you ever got caught and implanted and put on Earth, you were already lost a lot of your access to your higher faculties. Through bad experiences, through naivety, blowing up planets, being in wars, whatever, you name it. And then we begin to forget. Or we get caught up in passions. We get caught up in families. We get caught up in so many little things that we don't even know how to go back across the void and go home. We're meant to be conscious, trustworthy co-creators with the source behind all life. We cannot avoid this destiny. And I'll tell you why you can't avoid it. Because you helped create it. We're responsible for the evil and good that exists down here. And it's not going to go away because we whine and bitch and complain about it. We have to be boots on the ground to help change it. That's how we earn our wings. And we are doing that. And I never said it was easy or a rose garden or a cakewalk or a piece of cake or anything like that. Because unfortunately, when you change, your society, your families, everybody around you doesn't. They're afraid to do it. So you're not going to get much support from them. You have to go to where you can get the support, like this journey. few people on earth that know how to mirror and encourage your awakening properly. This is very rare. It's not been done on this planet before in its history. I don't care if you're a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, or anything else. Some religion in Japan. It's never been done before. Because what is out in the universe is changing first. And it couldn't change unless something changed above the void first. These journeys go back to the source where that change is taking place. And then we bring that energy back with us. And as it flows through your life on earth, it changes you. It changes life. It changes the atmosphere. It's subtle, and we're not there yet. We do have to increase that energy flow into this planet more than it is in order for this to go into kind of a viral situation where it spreads around the world. There will come a time when it will be officially announced. And when that's done, it will trigger the entire transformation of this planet. I don't know how to do that personally. Even as an advanced scientist and former ambassador, there are beings who really understand this collectively, scientifically, spiritually, if you will, how to transform stuck people with subconscious minds and fix it. It's a big problem. The only beings I know that can do it are beings that don't have the problem and haven't had it. These are our brothers and sisters. These are people not from Earth. You were one of them once, all of you. So it's like your own people who were never trapped have finally decided to help people that they used to know that are trapped. To me, that makes perfect sense. It just does. Let's go into the hue 5 times just to trigger the pineal gland, the center of our brains. And it's going to open a doorway so that this couple from the Galactic Alliance, who are standing beside you right now, not in a physical atom body, not in an astral body, not in an aura, they are standing in a form that looks human, well-dressed. It's projection from the white core of the Atma that they are. And all of you are doing exactly the same thing right now, showing them what you look like as a flawlessly handsome male about 36. If you're younger than that, well, here you're 36. If you're older than that, you go back to 36. If you're a woman, you're about 36 and flawlessly beautiful. Because this is the prototype way we share what we are. It looks human, but you got to remember, the human form had a prototype beginning before it was made into atoms and molecules and DNA. More advanced humans have 4-stranded DNA, not 2. And there's no telomeres shut down. And there's like the Say-Rays, and there are beings in 8-stranded DNA and 12-stranded DNA like the Say-Rays, who were the human prototypes for us long, long ago. Think of it as a lineage of beings going all the way back to source. And a certain races along that way evolved for one reason or another much, much faster or more effortlessly. And they helped from silent mentors, by the way, like the Say-Rays did, which we did not. So they got free and out of this thing, and then they became responsible to help many other races, many new prototypes of genetic entities, tall whites, tall grays, short grays, reptilian, mantis, Pashat, tiger people, bird-like people, many types of humans all over the universe. And they brought them up to spacefaring evolution. They spent a lot of time with this. They have Say-Rays DNA in them. So do we. Every human on Earth does. Every animal on Earth does. These guys were responsible for creating most of the mammals we see. And every one of you had a hand in it long ago. So, part of fixing a world like Earth, the only one I know of it's as backwards as it is, in as many ways as it is backwards right now, is to bring to bear all those wonderful beings in a focus out of kindness for Earth and get it fixed. Because people on Earth are not awake enough to do this. This is known without a doubt. So we need their help. When people start imagining outside of Earth and using their faculties to perceive other worlds and other lives and higher dimensions, they're starting to operate naturally, normally. Fear in any form is the only thing that tells us we can't do that, or tells us we can't see, or we can't leave our body, or any of that nonsense. Every one of you does it like a master every single night. If you're not raised on earth to know how to bring back, use the faculties that allows you to bring back the memory of what you do at night, you don't do it. You don't have that good habit developed. And then fear gets in the way. So these are the things that we're undoing. This talking with you that I'm doing is telepathic. It's a function of the hue moving through me and through you for your benefit, and then to earth for the benefit of others. It is the only way it works. When I plug into that, I become quite brilliant about almost any subject anywhere, because I'm plugging into the source, the one omnipresent living power. It is not an individual. We are of the same power exactly, like a drop out of an ocean, spherical in shape. So this couple, this man and woman that look like Shantiel and Tonatiel and Dantian and Lamtian, I won't bother to describe them. You can get that from other videos. You know what they look like. The couple that's assigned to all of us are all different today. Even for me. There are many of them, about the same age, perfectly capable, look similar, different skin color, that kind of thing. Because Shantiel and Tonatiel and Dantian and Lamtian are standing beside Torelli, and they're going on the journey with us just like we are. They get a break. They're getting a break. Otherwise, they have to spend their whole time taking care of you. Makes sense if you think about it. So the first thing to do is shut off all your fear of the present and future. That's already done. It can take care of itself when you come back. But when we come back, you're bringing back a higher energy, an energy that has no negative nature. And it is master over positive and negative things. It's source energy. You are source energy. When you're not fooled into believing you can't do this, and I can't see that, and I'm not smart enough to know this and that, and it's all just whispers of a primary implant program or something else from other lives that does that. None of it is true at all. The faculties of creation, co-creative abilities, are intact. They've never been destroyed. They've never been damaged. No reptilian or race or diabolical weaponry can affect anything in the Atma itself. It's not made of matter. It's not made of space and time. The lower worlds are. The void and upward are not. That's why the barrier is there. Let's send out the hue together. You don't have to sing it out loud. You do it silently inside, because there you can match my tones perfectly, flawlessly. You have no problem with pitch or having to control your vocal cords or anything like that. This is the Atma making the sound from the white core. When you see a body singing or using the vocal cords, it's the Atma sending that energy through the vocal cords that you hear in a physical body. When we're out in space, we don't use physical bodies. Even the bodies that you present to others have a type of vocal cord that could be heard in space, in the vacuum of space. But it's really telepathic communication. Atma to Atma. Perfectly clear, more crystal clear than speech on earth. I'll begin those tones now. once that's done is turned on a certain channel in the pineal gland in the center of your human brain. Your bodies are in the trance state called sleep. You're all masters at it. You do it every night. There's a difference between doing that unconsciously and doing it consciously. What we're doing on these journeys is doing it consciously. All of you are. It connects to the energy of the hue that is outer space, meaning the entire outer space that surrounds planets and moons and suns and stars and galaxies is the hue, expansion ray itself. Divine Spirit, Holy Spirit, whatever people want to call it. They pray to it all day long asking for things, but they don't really create or co-communicate with it. There's a big difference. Everything being said and spoken is coming from source energy manifested into words that aren't just words like sentences, they're holographic pictures containing sight and taste and touch and sound and smell and everything I want to communicate to you. And you are fully capable of receiving it accurately and sending it accurately when fear is turned off. It's not a faculty you need to relearn. You just do it naturally. You did it at the beginning before you started playing in the lower worlds of time and space. So I would show you guys a body that looks about 36, like Captain Calum in the Emerald Doorway. There's an illustration of him because it's closest to what I show other people when I'm on these guided journeys, like all of you. That self is not limited to the life you have on Earth, but it is capable of changing the life you have on Earth. Now that's interesting, isn't it? The hue has connected us not only to Terrellian and up through a vortex which is waiting for us, it's connected to the void, deliberately bypassing the lower planes of time and space. We don't want to get buggered up in that. Not now. We want to go get energy that has no negative, covert, backstabbing nonsense in it and bring it back with us and let it flow through us on Earth because it changes us. Your co-creative part is to go on the journey to go get that because you will be picking it up on the journey. And it will be made clear to you in no uncertain terms that that is what you're doing. And then we're going to stop by your etheric body on the return journey, your mental body, your causal body, your astral body, where all motion comes from, and your life on Earth. Because they need to be wakened up and helping each other, aware of each other, and helping you hear. It's the Atma you are that's going on the journey. And the Atma you are is master over all those bodies on each plane. Whether you know it or not now, or accept it or not now, it won't change the truth. Waking up to this and accepting it helps change you on Earth. The couples behind us are simply here to keep all fear of any form, past, present, or future, implants, engrams, aberrations, fears of any kind turned off. So basically, they're turning off your subconscious mind for the journey. We have to master that one day, but in the end, the subconscious mind will be completely disintegrated, neutralized. You won't have one. We don't want one. Why would you want anything that's subconscious you're not aware of, where some tyrant can put something in it to control you, and you're not aware of it? It's the only reason subconscious minds exist, by the way. They're methods of control. They are a misuse of advanced extraterrestrial technology on innocent people. Some of you had a hand in that in other lives. Don't feel guilty. Everybody did. It means you're not that way anymore, or you wouldn't be on this journey. So the predominance is that you don't have to pay off some terrible karma from millions of lives and become perfect, which some religions teach on earth. This is not correct. No. You have to drop it like a lead brick and stop agreeing with it, and then you just don't do it anymore. You don't get born through a baby's body again, unconscious, unaware of how you got here. It's okay that that's going on, but on normal planets, the beings that run those bodies, get this, are aware of it. That's what normal is. There's a white golden light. It's soft and gentle. Takes the shape of little tiny, tiny teardrop-shaped lights flowing through the roof of your home where you are. It's passing through you. You are hovering near the ceiling. Spherical being. A couple hovering beside you, male and female. You can tell. But out in front of all three of you, you're all showing each other a body that's about 36. If you're a male, perfectly handsome. If you're a female, perfectly beautiful. Radiant, much more radiant and vibrant and healthy than anything on earth. This is you. This has always been you. It's unique. Each drop in the ocean of sound and light is unique. We are all little gods amongst a great one, meant to co-create with it properly. This is our destiny and our purpose for existing. I wish it were taught openly on earth. No, I don't even wish it was taught. I wish it was demonstrated so that people would duplicate it and become it, not just pray to it or worship it, but really know it. It's the knowing without fear that sets us free. Nirvikalpa Samadhi is one term to describe God realization. Another one to describe self-realization. These two states of consciousness are simply what you are. And self-realization, you know you're a spherical being. You have it awake and you're able to move it around the universe. Every one of you do it every night anyway, but you don't know it. That's the rub. God realization is knowing what your co-creative purpose is, unique, in harmony with source behind all life. That is God realization. It's not selfish. We don't sit on a cloud somewhere above the void and sit in our butts and play with harps and pick flowers all day. That's not heaven. That's ignorance. It's unconscious. Beings that are advanced are busy all the time. The more advanced beings who are Atmas like Turelian do not sleep. They do not get tired. They do not get fatigued. Silent mentors never get that way. And more advanced master teachers do not get that way either, because they are really normal. This is what we're endeavoring to recover. The white golden light passing through you is going through you for your benefit. Yes, it is, but it's also passing beyond your home into the atmosphere of Earth and doing whatever the heck it wants. The Hue expansion ray is doing with all the other people on Earth whatever it knows best to do with them as part of an overall manifestation of something that's never occurred before. It happens to be passing through our solar system now for the first time, and through Earth. This is why tariffs are being balanced and wars are coming to an end. It's all part of it. This energy passing through you imparts to you the wisdom to know that this is not being orchestrated from Earth by anybody on Earth or any government or any religion. It's way, way vastly beyond any of that. What's making these changes? I'm going to send out one hue. And then we're going to find ourselves, as we are, hovering near the ceiling, together in a circle of beings around Ambassador Taurelian in space, in that so-called black void, which we know is not black at all. It's a white golden light to the Atma. It has a sound, a deep humming sound. We know it because we hear it and we see it. There will come a time when all of you will hear and see this on Earth walking down the street. I know how to do this. You know how to do it. You just have to not be afraid to accept it, because it's more audible and visual than what you see on Earth. The psychological trick is it makes you think that what you see with your eyes open in the atmosphere of Earth, as limited as that is what all reality is outside of Earth. It's not. couple beside you is escorting you out into space. It's instant. We don't have to be in the atmosphere above your home. That's the slow way. It helps develop the ability to imagine again and see things. We are out in space and we are seeing everything. We are a spherical being projecting a human-like form out in front of us, showing this unique nature in a human-type form to others. Human beings are one of the most ancient of all types, races in creation. They didn't originate even in our galaxy. They didn't even originate 5 galaxies away from us. Think about what I'm telling you right now for a moment. Then where did we originate? If the Garden of Eden is not on Earth, where the hell is it? Where is it? Not here. If you want to know about a garden, you got to go back to the source itself, at least to Satnam's realm. You want a garden in paradise? Go there. Go to Norexilum. Go to Zeontornamus 1 or Zeontornamus 1. You'll find paradises on those worlds in the physical universe. You can't even compare the way they are to people on Earth. They're too far removed from negative things. And that's normal out there. So how are we supposed to play among the stars the way we are? Well, we can't and we won't be allowed to either. We have to change first. None of the beings out there are keeping this enlightenment from having been on Earth. People on Earth are keeping it from themselves. So dedicated to fear, so dedicated to living short lives and dying hopelessly, that they can never know the truth until they go to heaven and die. And they end up back here. They're not dead. They just have to get another body and go at it again. Most of the reincarnation in baby bodies on Earth, unconscious, including their parents, takes place automatically, out of a program, out of a deep-seated fear. It seems like a secure place to have a physical body. And everybody knows there's no security in that at all, because no bodies last very long down here. Out among the stars, there are beings that last 10,000 years running a body. Some much longer, some shorter. But when they leave one, it's by choice. Not in fear, not in fear of the unknown, exactly what they are when they get out of that body, because they get in and out of it all the time. This is important. Turelian's standing 18 feet tall, showing you what he looks like because it's his choice. He does not have a physical body, an astral, a causal, a mental, or even an etheric body. Those responsibilities he had were resolved a long time ago. So when I call him a master teacher, I'm not doing him the kind of service. It's just one way of saying that he's beyond what you consider a masterful being to be, because none have ever been represented on Earth like these guys, and others out among the stars have never even been on Earth in its whole history. Some have come here from other worlds to teach. Usually they were killed or slaughtered, as you know. It's not a good way to go about things. Fear has to be gone first. Back in those days, there was no way to get rid of fear subconsciously in people who didn't even know they didn't originate on this planet. There was no way to do it. So we're stuck with it. We're not stuck with it anymore. What I'm doing is sending a hue up above Turelian, passing through certain masterful beings. It goes through Satnam. It goes up this vortex, which is already in place for us. A white, golden, hourglass-shaped vortex turning clockwise slowly, perfectly formed. A blue-green energy flowing around it at a slightly faster time rate today. It's not made of atoms or molecules. It's not made of nuclear energy. Neither are we. As beings that run bodies, machines really, we are made of the energy of star stuff. We are made of the energy from source. It is energy, but it's not, individual beings are not in existence as spherical drops from a mighty ocean by putting bodies and DNA together. That's for just playing in the lower dimensions to experience things. That was the original idea. That idea is broken. That idea failed. The old experiment of good and evil to cattle prod a person to get spiritual logic quickly by bringing their feet close to the fires of hell backfired. Because beings got more entranced by the genius they thought was evil. When evil has no genius. It's just distorted truth, bent, twisted like a pretzel. It cannot be figured out. There's no answer at the other end of that kind of search. So it has to be dropped. Ramu is standing near the earth, 6 foot tall, maroon colored robe, simple rope for a belt, sandals, short cropped curly black hair and beard, swarthy dark brown skin, coal black eyes, holding his crystalline staff 6 feet tall with the Egyptian symbol for eternal life atop it, the Ankh. That didn't originate in Egypt or on Earth either, folks. Not at all. He actually is stationed on planet Earth and comes to and from the parallel dimension where you're used to seeing things. Between that and a third higher parallel dimension where an Earth exists that's quite different from the one you know. He has freedom to move between them. He has freedom to go on these journeys. He's showing you a body form he actually has immortalized about 36, maybe a little older, that is stationed in a Himalayan type range in an area on that planet, Earth, not the one you know of. Master Opellum is opposite that, out in space, standing to my right. Blue skin, pale blue skin, jet black hair to his shoulders, emerald green eyes. He is human. The genes in them, including the Sayre's DNA, although they're 4-stranded, can mate with a human on Earth. Wouldn't be a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it, but the genetic history for many basic beings and races in the universe is so close that this is possible. This is why in ancient times it's talked in Greek legends that there were these ancient gods that were giants that mated with earth women. Occasionally an earth woman would mate with an extraterrestrial male. These are what you call myths or nice stories about things they've long forgotten. Before recorded history, long before it. Up above, Ambassador Turellian, who has a white gown on to his bare feet, closed fist, thumbs up, foot wide gold and white light around each, brighter than the hue in space around us. It's coming from the beings above him, passing through them. Etendin are Drens, carbon-based beings from Oceania, where Opellum comes from. They evolved in huge, emptied-out volcanic caverns under the bottom of the Oceanian oceans long ago, in self-contained ecosystems. It's described in the Parallel Time Trilogy, what their home is like, how they live. They evolve with the ability to fly through the air. Their tails create a charge. They create an electromagnetic field around their bodies like an antigravitic spaceship, and they fly in atmospheres. They can't go in space. They would suffocate. This is an organic species that learned how to levitate as the whole species. Pretty unique, which is why the Oceanians have a symbiotic relationship with them on that planet, and always have. They're master teachers now, 3 feet long, standing on their hind legs upright with their tail glowing like crystal opal and bright sunlight behind them, wiggling their little fingers at us. Thumb, 4 fingers, big toe, little toes, just like a human. Big bulbous blue eyes, pale green skin, absolutely adorable. You meet them, you fall in love with them instantly. Their energy's so high. Above them is Light Sea, and above him is Satnam. Satnam is the, I don't want to call him the ruler, the overseer, the trusted overseer of the Atma plane, the first plane above the void. Because from the void upward, there is no negative nature, never has been, never will be. This is where you come from. You still don't have any negative nature, but you've been hornswoggled and bushwhacked and killed and manipulated to forced to believe this and doubt this in yourself until you believe you are limited and you have negative nature that you have to pay back to God to be free. This is wrong. The universe was not set up this way. People in power set it up this way. For power or money or control. On countless worlds and all through the lower planes. And we're all responsible for it. And we're also ultimately responsible to change it. That's what we're doing. The hourglass-shaped golden white brilliant vortex whirling above Satnam has a narrow opening. When you look up at, even from where you are in space around Trillian, you can see the other end of it. It bypasses the lower worlds of time and space. They are vast. A galaxy in the astral plane is much larger than one in the physical, and so forth, onward and upward. Made of finer molecular matter, more freedom in bodies you run there, but not real freedom. And then it goes into the void itself, pure hue. And then it continues above that to Satnam's realm. And then it continues above that to the Hue Expansion Ray Academy. This place was built, deliberately put in place in eternity up there that never existed before, to train people to do things in new ways that have never been offered before. What does it mean? The hue is the omnipresent first sound behind creation, divine spirit, whatever you want to call it. The Hue Expansion Ray is altogether something new. It's a conscious, living, omnipresent power changed within itself, moving through the hue, throughout the universe, changing things when and if and where it is best to be done. So we create that change, but we also acquiesce to it. We also submit to it because it's the one power, and we're with that one power. So when we operate with it, we co-create new ways of doing things in it, but we also listen to it. We also cooperate with it, changing things. If you want to change a planet as big as Earth and 8 billion people, you got to have source energy to do it. And masterful beings quite beyond Earth to channel it to do it. That's just the way it is. The energy coming down through is a bright white golden light. It's coming down through Satnam, through Light Sea, down through Etendin, through Trillian, and out through his closed fists with his thumbs up, always very positive. It's putting an oval, transparent, golden shield of light around all of us in a circle. There are the couples, don't forget them, from the Galactic Alliance. If you want to ask their names, they'll tell you. You have to be ready to accept it. They might tell you here and you won't remember it when you come back from the journey, but you will remember it one day. So they're standing beside you, and then in between each of us and them are another couple of master teachers. There are 10 of them. Shantiel and Tonaltiel and Dantiam and Calamtiam are standing beside Trillian in the center of the circle. When you look up at Satnam again, you notice there are now 2 couples appearing, standing to each side of him. They are alternating male, female, male, female, left to right. They have a different colored pastel gown on, not like a light sheer bathrobe or something. Hard to describe. Different colored skin, different colored gowns on. You can't see any facial features because They have hair to their shoulders, long and beautiful. These are silent mentors. They do not have facial features like us. Their prototype they show us looks human, but it doesn't have facial features. You look into the light in their face and you see galaxies upon levels of galaxies throughout the multiverse. They live and breathe and think this way. They can move anywhere in it instantly without any limitations and carry out a mission in any form they choose, and you wouldn't even know they were there. They manage the whole creation, keep it all together. There's nothing wrong with the creation. There's nothing wrong with planets and galaxies and doorways between dimensions or any of that. It's the people running bodies that have gotten stuck, and they're part of source of God. Prime creator. So a good percentage of prime creators is stuck down here too. It can't change unless we go back. We were meant to come down here and go back. Problem is, only in the beginning did people go back, and then they stopped doing it. So the universe has stayed stuck like this for a very long time. Trillian is pointing out in space between the Earth and the Moon. There's a flash of white golden light. The sound of this humming, almost like thunder, but gentle, no lightning, increases. And we're literally like a teardrop of light, this oval light around us, shot out into space high above the Milky Way galaxy. Instantly, hundreds of millions of light years, we're looking down on the galaxy. It's brilliant. Because as the atmosphere, you don't see it just like stars. You see everything glowing. Every form has its own light. You can see a planet, kind of bluish green, all the way down there, not in the galactic core, but a third of the way outside of it, down in this big cluster of stars that you can see. Trillian nods, and we're suddenly hovering above that planet, all the way down in the Milky Way galaxy. We stop above it just to look and see the next galaxy over from us. The nearest neighbor is Andromeda. It's a spiral galaxy, a little bit bigger than ours. Our nearest neighbor. Cepharis, the distant wonder. Medullanta, it's sometimes called. But not by people on Earth. People call it Andromeda. And we're above this atmosphere that is 4 times bigger than Earth. Pinkish, almost a little bit of violet clouds, very subtle, luminous. Golden colored oceans on the planet, several continents near the equator, no polar ice caps. 3 planets the size of Earth, no polar ice caps, orbiting this bigger planet. Just as fine as you can be. Out in the distance, you can see 3 suns that these planets orbit. 3, big blue one, great big yellow one, bigger than our sun, and a smaller yellow one like our sun. Those 2 suns orbit the bigger sun. It's a trinary star system. Most of the suns in the Milky Way, as scientists on Earth now know for the first time in the last year or 2, are binary, 2, or trinary, 3. Earth is unusual. It's only 1 sun. This creates imbalances. This has problems. People that live on worlds that have 3 suns do not have polar ice caps on those worlds. Think about that for a minute. What would be the advantage of having a human life on such a planet? Planets whose oceans are charged with the hue, like this one. You're looking at Zetronomy 1. It is the governing central planet of the entire galactic interdimensional alliance of free worlds. And that existed long before you were ever around down here. That was begun 500,000 years ago. Tinker toys in terms of the age of the universe. Seems like a vast period of time compared to one lifetime on Earth, right? But you've all lived lifetimes with 10,000 year, 15,000 year lifespans, a few of even 20. This is in your past, not in your future. Now we're moving through the atmosphere all around Turelian, keep us all focused. We find ourselves hovering above a big, long, curved, white, glistening white dome. Little flecks of gold in it, something in the material. It's translucent. You can just see images through it. It's not completely transparent. There are tall, thin pyramid buildings and spherical, glass-like crystalline buildings and waterfalls and lakes and walkways. This isn't like a congested city on Earth. It's a governing complex. People don't live here. They teleport here from all over the planet. They don't live in skyscrapers or anything like that. I got rid of that stuff a long time ago. That means to us, the technology to change Earth exists and has existed for ages. But it has to be brought here openly for it to be put to use on this planet. We're going to have to be respectful of life from other worlds, of each other and ourselves before such gifts will be brought here. Just common sense. You were once them. It's common sense to you now. I know you know it. People cannot be operating from fear and making political and weapons and warfare decisions out in space, fighting over other people's property that's already occupied by far more advanced races. That future Star Trek-ish kind of thing is never going to occur in our future. There will be no warp core driven radioactive engines running spaceships 2,000 years from now. They're illegal, outlawed, cannot be used, destructive, deadly. Think about it. Would you choose to use such energy if you had the hue itself as an alternative source for energy? Space itself? 0-point energy, the energy of the universe? They know about that on Earth. They know it's there. They just don't know what to do with it. So you're picking up and waking up this knowledge along the way of this journey in the lower worlds for your life on Earth. But where we're going is way beyond that. The 4 books that I've published on this planet are open doorways to higher realms, other planets, other systems, being able to see and know things and imagine things outside of Earth's atmosphere. Without that, you're stuck. You have to have that ability. And it's awakened on this journey, no matter what your mind would try to tell you. But remember, that's turned off for now back on Earth. So you just do it. You just accept it because you can. In the distance, you can see a beautiful, curved, golden, sandy, glowing ocean, but that water beyond it is glowing gold. It's not like gold on Earth. It's a foot above the waves, and ocean waves on these normal worlds are calm. They don't have tidal waves or earthquakes or volcanoes or any of that nonsense. No advanced world system would tolerate it, and they don't have to. Earth could be like this if its people are responsible, if they'll take their part in being co-creators and caretakers and custodians for the lower dimensions of time and space, which is what we were meant to do. Think about it for a moment. So what is your real destiny? If you're hundreds of billions, if you're older than that, older than the lower worlds of time and space, which you are, and you're this being running an energy beam into the pineal gland to make that body work, because if you took it out, the body would drop over dead as a pancake on the spot. Human bodies do not run themselves. Animals don't run themselves. They're machines. They're a type of device created long ago for people to experience things. In the higher realities and with more advanced worlds, people can change places with animals. See what it's like to be them. Think and feel and hurt and love like them. Swap places and then get back to where they are, and then they understand each other. This is the way it's done. Of course, that is not being done on Earth at all. People have to be awake to do that, and they're not yet. You're on Zeternomy 1. Turelian, and this oval sphere of golden light, is passing right through the top of this huge white glittering little sparkles of gold right through the dome. We're doing this for a reason. We've done it before, but we're doing it again. Inside, we're near the ceiling, hovering with him. He is in the center of this circle. There's a white golden shaft of light coming right down through him and into this, might be 20-foot wide, foot thick, blue disc type stage. And he's standing on it. We're in a circle of beings around him, and then around us are these widening, higher concentric circles of white stone-like floors in a circle, 15 levels up, like you're in a coliseum looking down at a central stage from all directions. And there are 5,000 council members of the Galactic Alliance Council with their white gowns on, with their gold sash from their right upper shoulder to the lower left hip, standing up in front of these white leather-like chairs to greet us. They know we're here. They are atmas, beautiful, bright atmas, hovering above all of them, just like you're hovering above the form you're showing them. This time, you can see there are two silent mentor couples hovering beside Turellian. In between him and us, to each side of him, we're in an outer circle. There's an energy coming down through this white golden shaft of light that's passing through them. They're regulating it, actually. And it's moving through us, both the Atma you are and the physical form you show others. And it's going through the 5,000 council members' forms, up through the Atmas they are. And then they're all pointing 5,000 beams back into this shaft of light, and it's sent back to source. And then the energy switches. It's moving through them, through us, and back through Turellian and up through this shaft of light. We begin to get some awakening of comprehensive understanding from the Galactic Alliance Council, how to think in terms and see in terms of multi-dimensions, billions of planets, billions of galaxies, how to think that way, how to recover the ability to be our natural self. The Atma you are can understand this and see it. The human brain and body on Earth you have cannot do that. So whenever you do see and hear this stuff, even in a restaurant, it's the Atma that's doing it, passing it through your physical form. You got to remember this. It's very important. And then all of a sudden, we're in a group around Turellian. The council members put a hand over their chest and nod, and then we're up through this shaft of light. We are now up above Zetronomy 1, and then we're up above the entire Milky Way galaxy. And guess what? That vortex, that golden white hourglass-shaped vortex is still above Satnam. We brought it with us. It moved across the galaxy in space, and it's still there. Turellian points upward, and we're suddenly shot up into this vortex following Satnam and the silent mentors who are leading the way. And we pass all the way up through it in an instant and come out of it. Beautiful. It's brilliant, but what I call a pale blue, cobalt blue light everywhere. Since there's no forms here and no other beings you can see, people on Earth have called this the void, because there's nothing here as far as things, but it's pure energy. There's a lot here. There's even beings here, but they normally don't show themselves to anybody passing through this room. We're moving upward at tremendous speed. The void is bigger than the lower dimensions. It's just big. When we see up ahead is a diamond white beach. We're instantly projected right in front of it, and you can see that it's luminous. It curves for miles and miles as far as you can see, left and right, and then curves in on itself, implying that that beach, whatever it is, surrounds a floating circular landmass in a void of pale blue, cobalt blue light, suspended in it. Silent mentors are responsible for that, folks. That is what they do. No problem for them. Easy as pie, piece of cake. And you look down and find your toes wiggling in this diamond-like sand. We're here to pick up a gift. Satnam lands on the sand. This is a form he shows us. You know, the one that's got the bronze skin, 36, golden eyes, little white tunic dress from his waist to his ankles, 2 gold bracelets on each of his upper arms. I think he just likes them. I don't know what they're for. And he points to the sand, and you see a single grain come right up in front of your face. His body form that's not made of matter. It has taste and sight, smell, and all the senses of human, 1,000 times more than that. And you can see this is perfectly round, polished, diamond, glowing. Spherical, not faceted. And it's collecting and holding. It's like H2O in a crystalline form, but it's not water. And it's holding the hue, and then it's shot up into the white core of your being. But it goes up through your body from the sand first. It comes down, up through your body, and into the white core of your being. And it makes it a little brighter. It's charging it. It's bringing some energy that has no negative nature and charging the center of your being. The hue gets into Earth's atmosphere. You get some of it or you wouldn't be alive. Your bodies would stop working. But not as much as is needed. So we're bringing some with us here. It goes out to all the layers of the teardrop-shaped layers, which have depth to them, many in each layer. You got a white core, golden light, yellow starts to turn orange, then red, then green, then blue, then lavender, then violet, surrounded by a golden light. It covers the spectrum of light. Each layer is relative to a dimension, a major division, where you're running bodies through it on different planes. This is normal for the Atma, not known and not normal for people on Earth because they fear leaving their body. It's ironic. They do it every night and they're afraid of it. I don't blame them. They can't help it. Not at this point. And then Turelian lives right up above the jungle trees, which is every kind of tree you can think of. Massive compared to trees on Earth, but the trunks are transparent and luminous. The birds that come out of these trees are very special. About a foot long, look like a blue jay. Rainbow colored feathers, thousands of colors, blended perfectly and subtly together. Big, beautiful eyes. Twin sets of wings, one above the other. They have 2 sets of wings. And they're hovering like a butterfly or hovering like a hummingbird. And one of them, male and female, you can tell the difference, hovers in front of your face, in front of everyone on this journey, including the 5,000 Galactic Alliance Council members that came with us. In concentric circles all around us, just like they are back on the planet Zetranami 1. They need to go on these journeys as well as we do. They're who we're counting on to help us out of this mess we're in on Earth. These birds hover in front of your face and then they sing. They open their beaks and they have vocal cords and they have the most beautiful male and female voices in existence. They sing the hue, a channel of the hue expansion ray right through them. Above them is hovering an Atma 4 times bigger than us. Like the couples. The 2 couples are silent mentors. Look the same. Because these are silent mentors. They are in whatever form they choose to be. These birds, their forms aren't limited by molecules or atoms or anything like that. And they're singing the hue on multiple levels in perfect tone harmonies. And you realize as it passes through you, they're supporting and maintaining this void between the upper worlds and the lower realities. Or switch that around, lower worlds and the upper realities. And they go back into their trees. They've just imparted a gift to us. And then we're heading inland and we're going to go up a simple fountain. Inland, you look into the distance, you see a white snow-covered, bluestone white snow-covered mountain range, kind of diagonal to us. And down below us directly is a 100 feet wide white stone floor with a fountain in it, scalloped edges, about 15 feet in diameter. Statue of Satnam standing in it, with his palms open, facing forward, and a white golden light of source is passing through a cylindrical light into this fountain and into this, filling it. It's dropping over the edge and disappearing into the ground that is the Atma plane, Satnam's realm. There is a sitting seat around it. A circular, flat, white stone sitting seat surrounds the outside of this fountain. 12 intricately scrolled legs, curved around like 1500 architecture or something, hard to describe. And there is a golden cup on a golden hook surrounding the outside of the edge of this fountain. The water's pouring down over the fountain and dropping below that. And you find yourselves, all of you on this journey, sitting in one of the seats facing the fountain in a circle. The Atma you are is hovering above the form you're sitting here. The energy of this fountain, a little stream of it goes into each of these cups, and it lifts itself off the hook, approaches your mouth. Remember, this is a much higher mouth than one on earth. You open your mouth and it pours it down your throat. It's like a luminous white golden liquid light, but it isn't water. Passes through your glowing body, because here, the form you have, the Atma you have, everything here produces its own light. There are no suns or planets or moons or stars here. They're not necessary. That's why they don't exist. Places like the Atma plane, the one above it, the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, are held in place by silent mentors, by beings. Planets and moons and suns and stars and hot and cold, they're not necessary here. And then we gotta find ourselves going in a circle of beings around Torelli and right up the shaft of light coming into the top of this statue. We're projected upward at tremendous speed until we come out into another higher, much brighter, cobalt blue luminous space, like Earth's atmosphere, but bluer and deeper. There's no planets or stars here. And out in the center of it is this huge floating circular landmass. It has a white diamond-like beach surrounding it. It's glowing brighter than in Satnam's realm. 6 snow-covered mountains, blue stone, in the center, way in the center, surrounding a tower, blue glass-like tower. It comes to a point. We know it comes out of a white island surrounded by a blue-green lake. And there are white roadways we know are there coming out of the base of those mountains. They go everywhere, straight as an arrow, all the way around the whole landmass. And they end at the luminous beach. There are 12 silent mentor teaching facilities out in this ocean of cobalt blue light. Outside, or a distance away from this beach, on the beach you can see a single blue-green luminous wave crashing on the beach in a continuous roll, circling the outer circumference of this landmass. It's like an energy engine. It keeps the thing in place. That's managed by silent mentors, like the couple that are with us right now. There's domes on little islands, white islands, with 3 pyramids with quartz caps, golden sided, surrounding a fountain in each one of those domes. And there is a silent couple mentor couple, hovering above each one. They're simply showing you how this works here. This is the place we can come to rub shoulders with such beings. They do not manifest to teach anybody or be your teacher on earth. That's not their gig. But here we can rub shoulders with them. The Hue Expansion Ray Academy is a teaching facility. Thousands of them, from beings all over creation, to help people have direct experience about things they've forgotten for one reason or another. The sound here is of the high note of a flute, permeating everything. It's not just in the distance, it's moving through you. And then you realize you're making the sound of the flute with it. It's emanating from you too. There are 4 teaching facilities on this huge circular floating landmass. 1 in each quadrant, north, south, east, and west. There is a big teaching facility among master teacher facilities all over this landmass, but in the center, hollowed out center of the U Expansion Ray Academy are 12 trees, like giant weeping willow trees, luminous. Near the interior circumference of this oval hollowed out area inside the U Expansion Ray Academy. The U Expansion Ray Academy tower, this blue glass-like thing, is on the surface. Below it is a hollowed chamber with a white golden light coming down a shaft of light into its exact center. Tyrrellian is hovering there. And we're in a circle, sitting in white leather-like chairs, facing away from him, looking at these trees. Standing above them is alternating male and female, a silent mentor. Blue gown, green gown, red gown, yellow gown, violet, all the way around. 12 different shades of pastel light. Long hair at their shoulders, different colored skin, no facial features. And above them is hovering their real self, the spherical Atma, 4 times larger than us, twice as many teardrop tape faculties in them. What they're doing is moving energy through us and up through Tyrrellian and up through the shaft of light one way, and it's going the other. So that we get to experience a little bit of what it's like as the Hue expansion ray from source passes through us. It imparts some of their brilliance to us. We begin to realize that what they are is potential in us, but different than has ever existed before, because we're prototypes. We're becoming a subtle blend of silent mentor and freedom in the universe and the love and care a master teacher has for a student. Something new. This is where this is brought into existence, where no negative influence exists. And we find ourselves suddenly, instantly, in the southwestern quadrant. Down the middle roadway of many divides this quadrant, this quarter, in half. 2/3 of the way towards the coast, we turn right into a clearing. And in this clearing is another fountain, blue scalloped edges. No statue of Satnam here. It's a Christmas tree like blue-green light flowing up and down, forming that like a tree. And there's a white golden shaft of light, a cylinder of light coming down into it. Above the tree is hovering a single quartz crystal-like headpiece that would form smooth edges around your temples and up over the top of your head. And it has one function only here, this particular one of the 4 teaching facilities. It is placed upon this form you show people, and it connects an energy up through the Atma you are, all the way to Source itself. So this way, we're going to go directly from the Hue Expansion Ray Academy to Agam Purusha's realm. We're going to get permission to go further, then we're going to go into the Source. Why do we do this? We do it so that we can do 2 things. Rub shoulders with silent mentors, which have never been introduced to beings in the lower worlds before. Never direct association. And so we can get what we call God realization and better self-realization by merging ourselves into the source white light itself, which we are also made of. Sound of the hue intensifies, and we're being drawn upward like a vacuum cleaner, just gently pulled upward. This headset is on your heads all at once. It's duplicated itself and is placed over your heads. You're now sitting in white leather chairs facing this shaft of light. The trees here in the southwestern quadrant are like giant redwood trees glowing. 12 silent mentors, male and female, standing above them. And then we are collectively in this circle around Turelian and shot up this shaft of light. When we come out the other end, we're coming into a fiery, fiery realm. It is many dimensions above the Atma plane, Satnam's realm. Way, way, way beyond the void. And we come into a realm that's green and yellow and red and fire and moving and twirling and swirling all around. It's raw, unharmonized energy yet into form. There is a being approaching it, huge spherical beings, bigger than a silent mentor. And all the structure of them and more, kind of like Satnam has. And he approaches us. And if your fear was not turned off, you'd be terrorized of this being coming out of this fiery light. But there's no fear. When I first met Agam Purusha, I befriended him. I asked to be his buddy because I knew he was doing a lonely job. Not that he feels loneliness like people on earth do, because he doesn't, but he manages all the raw power of eternity and regulates it like a generator down into the lower planes. Into the U Expansion Ray Academy, into Satnam's realm, into the void, the etheric, the mental, causal, astral, into the earth world, into Zetranami 1. And he is pointing to a tree whose roots are so vast and so big they disappear into the fiery light far below us. The top of the tree, coming to a point, disappears in the fiery light above us. The trunk of the tree is a golden white light. It looks like a massive silver golden fir tree. And we're moving through it as a group of beings, right through the branches and the needles. And as we pass through these needles, you see a planet, a place, a doorway, a portal, an ocean, a mountain range. You see all these things represented in these needles on these individual branches. The trunks represent major channels of energy into the lower planes. The little needles coming off of them represent places, like in a galaxy, planets around a sun, things like that. So it's called the Tree of Life. It's a humming vibration pulling us upward. The whole group of us are shot up this shaft. When we come out the other side, we are now in the realm of Source, Prime Creator. Here, the cobalt blue light is just brilliant beyond description. And one thing exists in the center of this place. A silvery golden galaxy turning on its axis. And you think there's stars revolving around a nucleus like a galaxy. But you can see through that white light and see there's an island in the center of it, in a void, inside it. And we are moving as a group through these individual outer stars that have great distance between them. And as we pass through them, we can hear the celestial sound of the source. It's like a million orchestras playing music you can't even hear on Earth. It's humming at us with a deep high note of a flute. As we pass between these stars, you instantly recognize that they are beings, not stars. And you're one of them. You always were. So your true self has never left this source energy. The rest is, they call it illusion if you forget what you are and who you are. But it's not illusion if you don't. There's just places to visit. And as we pass through these massive numbers of beings circling the center, we come into a void. And in the center is a white island. We're suddenly projected there. And in front of the white island, perfectly formed disc-like white island, there's this huge, massive, Atma-like presence. Millions of layers of colors and faculties. Colors beyond light spectrum that people know on Earth. And we're suddenly shot into the right between some of these teardrops, which have vast distance between them. And then we're in the middle of it. We are spherical beings hovering as a white core in our being in the source itself. The sound is vibrating through us. It's moving out through us into the universe. It's going down the planes, it's going into Agam Purusha's rooms, going back to Earth and coming back. It comes back through these interdimensional doorways, which are the nucleus of a galaxy. It is a generator Light and sound comes through that doorway. To an atma, the center of a galaxy is a white golden light. It's not a black hole. It's just because human eyes can't see that high a frequency. At least those on Earth, anyway. And then in the middle of this, you hear a presence, a voice come out of nowhere. Deep baritone male voice mixed with the celestial qualities of the finest feminine voice. It is not male or female. It is a presence. At the nexus of all that is, all atmas in all of creation comprise and make up Source, Prime Creator. Always have. So collectively, there is this presence that will speak with you. And it will say to you, welcome home. It always says that first. It says, you have dared to cross the realms of light and sound, to leave behind fear, to recover who you are, for one purpose, to become and stay a trustworthy co-creator with the source behind all life. And then it will tell us we cannot stay here longer, or our physical bodies would perish on Earth. And we find ourselves suddenly hovering above Earth, all the way down through the planes, in the third higher parallel dimension of 144, where there's an Earth that is not like Earth you know. We're out in space in a circle of beings, just like we started this journey. You're looking at a planet that has this beautiful atmosphere, blue, green, luminous, like Earth. But one big continent centered over the equator from the left to the right hemisphere. Another one 2/3 its size on the opposite end of the planet, centered over the equator. There's a huge Himalayan-like mountain range in the center of this vast continent. No polar ice caps. There is a moon like Earth has. Oxygen atmosphere, little oceans, little rivers, domed cities, no polar ice caps, turning on its axis, orbiting the Earth here. There's no negative nature in the atmosphere of the H2 on these worlds. When you look down at the southern pole, about a third of the way up where this continent curves up towards the eastern or the western hemisphere, it's an emerald green, upward curved, half moon base shaped, glowing green, emerald-like beach. There's a big, tall jungle trees above it. Inland, several miles, a single snow-covered mountain range. Not mountain range, single mountain. And to the left, on the lower plateau, a large, clear dome, like glass, covering 3 golden-sided quartz-capped pyramids, surrounding a long, ivory-colored lower building. Glowing blue-green lake, oval-shaped. Countryside with little domed ivory dwellings and pathways. Semicircular mountain range with waterfalls coming out of cavern openings. It's a miniature mountain range for the aesthetic pleasure of the people who work here. Up on the mountain, a single fountain, a single waterfall pouring out of a cavern opening, 2/3 of the way towards the summit. Above it, an oval opening, a tunnel. And that goes to Mount Shasta in Northern California, to a Galactic Alliance base that was built inside it in 1908. You know this now. That tunnel connects the parallel dimension of the Earth you know of Earth to this one. 3 levels up, quite different. Galactic Alliance vehicles and technology can travel between these parallel dimensions, and they do. You see your feet wiggling in this emerald green sand now. The white diamonds and that gift, that stuff in Satnam's realm and higher, that's for you to remember your life as who you really are above the void. The green sand you're wiggling in is glowing a foot above the sand. You pick one up, each of you, and you look at it. Remember, it's the body form that's not human that's looking at it. It's actually the Atma hovering above it that's looking at it. And it's a perfectly round, emerald glowing crystal. You let that go, and it floats up into the core of your being and goes out to the green layer. Comprehension, mental understanding starts to turn on some of those teardrops. And then all of us in our circle around Turellian suddenly find a couple standing right beside him to his left side. They are from a planet called Xeontranomon 1. They are a Xeontranomous race. They are not from our galaxy. They are in the same galaxy, parallel dimension as Earth is that you know, but on the other side of the galaxy, on a planet 4 times bigger than Earth, with 3 planets circling it, and a trinary sun system. The woman is holding her hands up, much like Turellian, just like Opellum would do to show he has little webs between his fingers because they breathe underwater or on land. He's here too. Ramu's here. Etta and Din are flying around above our heads, playing in the water. Turellian standing offshore, up to his knees in this calm blue-green ocean water. And then you realize the beach, this emerald green color, is coming from a light beam from this woman's hands. It's charging this beach. And what it's doing is filling each one of these crystals with a charge, a memory, a program, to help you, as it goes into your being, it helps you remember the vast nature of your life, which is infinitely more vast than this one life on earth that you've already lived. It makes that green area brighter. And then there's a flash of light, and we suddenly realize we're in space around Turellian, still in this protective, oval, golden white sphere. His hands are still glowing, and you see the Earth you're familiar with. Polar ice caps, barren moon, dead world, doesn't turn, orbits the planet but does not turn. And you begin to put together the pieces of how Earth is going to be transformed. The beings at work in that facility, that dome city, on Earth as it is, that's Lemuria, that big continent, Atlantis or Atlas, the one on the other side. But it is a Lemurian Atlantis that was never destroyed by polar shifts like it was in the Earth you're familiar with. They don't shift poles here. And there's no negativity in the water vapor oceans here. Waters glow. Literally. Silent mentors, Sayre's race, Galactic Alliance advanced scientists, and master teachers work here in that place. They're in Earth's atmosphere. They come to Earth, but you would not see them. They're too powerful for that. Would not be for your benefit. And you find yourself hovering near the ceiling where you live. You're still there. The Galactic Alliance couple, these kind man and woman, are still beside you. The sound of the hue is still flowing through you. The source energy we brought back with us is moving through you for your benefit, your life on Earth, and out through the walls of your home to connect to 3 pyramids stationed on Earth that are not made of physical matter. They cannot be toyed with or manipulated or altered by anybody on Earth. They can't be manipulated or altered by anybody off Earth or anybody in the lower worlds, period. And they're turned on. They have fountains of Satnam statue in each one, 2 at the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 inside a hollowed-out interior in the mountains of the Himalayas. That energy we bring back is beamed through us, through the Earth's atmosphere, out into space to a much larger pyramid, hovering stationary between 2 stable asteroids, orbiting in the asteroid field that circles in the orbit of what was a planet, around the sun, between Mars and Jupiter. That's how it got there. It was a planet that was blown apart from the core outward. And that is beamed from that fountain in that pyramid all the way to the center of the galaxy, up that white golden shaft of light. It is continuously moving one way, through us and onward for the benefit of others, and back to source. This is what the sign of infinity means, like an 8. Up and down, back and forth. Because you've brought this back to your body on Earth, this is a natural process. You don't have to be worried about how it works or if it'll work or that you'll fail at doing it. It's nonsense. That's mind stuff. It's working through you for your benefit, and it will continue to do so. You're back. When you're ready, open your eyes. And I will bring this recording to a close so that we don't have it too long. We can have some questions and answers.